Greetings, diners, and welcome to another edition of the Collapse Cafe here on the Doomstead Diner. And right now, I'm enjoying a Canada Dry ginger ale, and they have not yet sponsored me for these broadcasts. And I've been saving my various desserts and so forth to eat at night between midnight and 8 a.m. when the kitchen is closed. Actually, the kitchen is closed from about 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So 12 hours of closed kitchen. And they're keeping like 0 snacks in the fridge here. And I think it has something to do with COVID. I'm not sure. But about the only thing I can get in terms of snacks here when the kitchen is closed are crackers, saltine crackers. Delicious. Yum. Highly nutritious also. If you've ever had a saltine, you know that they are virtually tasteless and dry, and they do go all right with a ginger ale, though. Okay. And then my prized possession are my ice creams. I ordered 2 with breakfast and 2 with dinner, and I only eat one of them during the breakfast, lunch, dinner period, and I save the other 3 to have overnight. And those perk up my evenings or nights, whatever, because I stay up most of the night. I did that at home anyway. Well, I do it here just as much, okay? And whatnot. I'm feeling a tad better for this video than I did for the last one. So, you know, I mean, I suppose that's good news, right? And mainly this is actually, or it started out to be, a test of my camera, which has been giving me problems. And I'm not sure how long it is for this world, whether I can actually keep using it or not. And we'll see how this video actually comes out when I put it in the computer and then try to upload it to YouTube, which is the other issue, compatibility issues with YouTube, right? Anyhow, we've got restrictions, sweeping restrictions on indoor gatherings, bars, gyms, as COVID cases surge in Washington. Okay, so that's Pacific Northwest, and basically, as goes Oregon and Washington, so goes Alaska in terms of regulations. And we are going with further restrictions here, and there's further complaints about them from the highly conservative element of Alaskan politics, which is very strong. And, you know, personally, I vacillate somewhat between how I think this should be approached. Whether, you know, we should be doing lockdown now and really trying to control the spread that way here, and given our population size and all the rest of that, our density, or whether we should, you know, take a more open approach and try to just learn to live with it, if you will. I think that maybe one of the things that we have to consider over time is that this is a social chronic problem, and that we have to be able to handle it in some way. And obviously, getting a number of cases that overwhelm the hospitals uh, and prevent other patients, like me, for instance. I happen to have gotten in before COVID hit, but if I tried to get admitted today, it would be a lot different than when I was admitted. All right, in terms of number of beds and all the rest, what's available. I have my bed, right? And it's like a valuable commodity. Uh, but if I was not in the hospital now, and if I just came to the hospital to get a bed, I might have to wait 2 days, 3 days. And if I was in pain, as I usually am when I check myself into the ER, then it would be a problem. All right? And it's something has to be done about that. I'm thinking we need to have separate facilities built for COVID. You know, preferably attached in some way to your hospital. But not necessarily. They could be standalone as well. But it's hard to get all of the various machines and equipment into a facility that's completely standalone. All the respirators and the imaging equipment and yada yada yada. That's a lot of expensive stuff, and to completely outfit a new building with that type of stuff is extraordinarily expensive. So better to try to use the equipment that you have, but just increase the number of beds that are available, if possible. I think that could be done up here fairly easily. I don't know what the situation is in Washington or Oregon and so forth, and it does depend on where the hospital, your main hospital, is located. If it's in a densely populated area of the city, the chances that you can do a nearby or connected expansion might be fairly slim. I don't know. So all these things need to be considered as we move forward here. But I do think that this is going to be a chronic social problem, and that a consistent response has to be developed. We can't go through these sine wave of cycles of, lockdown, open up, lockdown, open up. You can't plan with that at all. Not that it's so easy to plan with, opening up, because cases will spike and then they'll go down, spike and go down, whatever. But at least you'll know what your situation is as far as people, working and commerce going on in your local economy, which, for planning purposes and everything, people need to know. So we'll see how it goes over time. And there's not much more happening, okay? The entire world and everything these days is focused on COVID. It's COVID this, COVID that. And, what's happening with Brexit, right? Who the fuck knows? What's happening with, the Chinese-Indian dispute over the border over there. I don't know. Maybe they know over in China, but I don't know anything about that. I haven't seen anything in the news. So, we're in an all COVID mode, and that's another thing that has to be eventually, in some way, overcome. it's not, it can't be all COVID all the time. There are other things involved in what's going on besides COVID, and they need to be discussed too. So I shall attempt to discuss them periodically, as long as I'm feeling better, and that's all to do. This time until next time, here on the Collapse Cafe of the Doomstead Diner. Hasta la Hotel RE. Bye.